Welcome to Out of Home Insider, the loudest voice in out of home. Today's episode is with John James, founder of SignBird.io. SignBird helps billboard owners and operators bring their marketing collateral into the 21st century. As a former billboard seller himself, John understands the challenges of telling a great story about each market's unique qualities and the billboards in them. Utilizing vehicle-mounted cameras, drone videography, and a suite of website design services, SignBird is enabling outdoor sales teams around the country to sell more campaigns. Without further ado, let's go.
Welcome everybody to the Out of Home Insider Show, a podcast like no other, hosted by the one and only Tim Rowe. Get ready to have some knowledge dropped on you and to be entertained, because nothing's more valuable than food for your brain. So sit back, relax, we're about to dive in as the best industry podcast is about to begin.
John James, welcome to Out of Home Insider.
Thanks, man. It's good to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no, for sure. Your setup is probably more legit than mine. I like the whole boom stand in the mic thing. It's a nice little setup you got going on there. You think about starting a podcast about taking pictures of billboards?
You never know what the future holds, but I guess I'm halfway there with a nice mic. I don't know.
Hey,
maybe.
Listen, it's pretty much fake it till you make it. And the microphone is half the deal. It's once you have the headphones that people really start to take you serious. But speaking of, you never know what the future is going to hold. You've got quite the origin story, my friend. And I think that that's always a good place to start, especially with an audience that may or may not know you yet. We've got a lot of folks from all sides of the industry, but a lot of folks listening, for the first time. This is their first time tuning into the podcast. So why don't you let everyone know a little bit more about John James?
So origin story, where to start?
Probably about how you were selling billboards 2 years ago, and now you have the fastest growing marketing company for outdoor billboard owners.
Well, I don't know about that, man, but I appreciate it. So origin story, right? I live in Alabama, good old Alabama, and sold out of home for one of the largest.
Roll Tide or War Damn Eagle?
Roll Tide, man.
Oh,
Roll Tide.
All right. Because there's somebody listening right now who's wondering, and they either just turned it off or they're completely bought in. Keep going.
Well, I got to say Roll Tide for sure. But so I sold out of home. And if you ask some people here in the South, it's the sign business, right? It's
sign business.
It's sold signs right here for Lamar Outdoor. We all know Lamar Advertising, and
Ian Dallimore, great friend of the show. Shout out to Ian with that. Digital and Dirt, by the way, free plug there. Digital and Dirt. That's my favorite out of home podcast.
Yeah, right on, man. I listened to that as well. I listened to the Tommy Teeple episode. It was awesome. So sold for them for a number of years, was selling there in Birmingham for a little while. And then I sold in West Alabama, and then had the opportunity with some national business, sold in different parts of Texas and even South Carolina some. So it was awesome. It was a great experience. And, I was very blessed to have the mentors. I would literally call them mentors that I had. That kind of put their arm around me and showed me this business and, developed me and, I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. And so, let's go. It's a long list of those types of people in my life. So, I don't work for Lamar anymore. I left a number of years ago and, was a partner at a web design agency, here locally in my neck of the woods. And, that was great. It was a good experience, but when you're in the billboard business, you get a taste of it. It's really hard to get out, man. It's just it becomes this sort of animal, right? You're like, man, I wish I was back. I wish I was back doing what I love to do.
Yeah. I totally got the bug.
Yeah, I got the bug is a good way to put it. When I was at Lamar, I saw not even, even at a local level, it was difficult. It was painful to get photos, updated photos and video of your inventory that you're pitching to these national media buyers, not only these national accounts, but local mom and pop stores. Right. And, I think we've all, anyone who's sold out of home has had that experience where you have a proposal in hand or a proposal on your desktop that you're going through and you're like, all right, I'm going to pitch this to, 6 people today, right? This piece of inventory. And all 6 people that you're pitching this to are all looking at this terrible photo of a billboard that the weekly impressions are strong, like visibility is strong, like it's in the right zip code, it has everything. But for whatever reason, we've settled for less on this photo that is just like, oh, why are we using this 15-year-old photo that was taken with a Nokia brick phone, right? Like,
and that's really the thing that's being bought. It's not a dot on a map in a zip code that reaches an audience. It's a piece of real estate.
That's right.
You wouldn't buy a house with some grainy looking, flip phone Motorola Razor picture. Yeah. But you're expecting national advertisers to confidently deploy ad dollars on something that looks like it was pulled off of a CCTV on an episode of Cops. Like, it's sketchy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's sketchy. So, I mean, I felt the pain, not nearly as long as you. And there's probably folks listening to this that have felt that pain on the buy side and the sell side alike. So, like, it's probably something we can all agree, politics aside, all agree, hey, like, it would be nice to have pretty good pictures of billboards. Yeah, so you've lived this, you felt it, you felt what it was like to go into a meeting and not have a good representation of something that you're really confident that you believe in selling. So you saw that as a problem, and within problems, when we can solve them, there's opportunity. So absolutely, you left, you went to a web design company, and how did it come to be that you started thinking about this idea of putting together great photo and video for billboard owners?
It originated with my time spent selling out of home here in Alabama. And I was thinking to myself, hey, if Lamar or the larger billboard company was experiencing this pain, I had a hunch that the independents were feeling, and when I say independent, I mean, privately owned outdoor companies, right? The one woman, one man army sort of situations where they're proposing out of home to agencies and local advertisers. They're doing the same thing, but they might not have the time, the resources, or even the expertise to knock it out. And so that's where we started, and we started very local, just in my circle of contacts, and we just went one project at a time, one state at a time.
When you say we, was it we or was it you? Because it's we today, and we'll get there. But then, like, man, what was the setup? Is it John James with, like, I don't know, Polaroid camera? Like, what are you doing? You got to paint the picture. What were those early days all 2 years ago? What was that like?
I have some pictures I need to show you, but of just me and the drone and stuff. But yeah, man,
so it was just you.
Yeah, it was just me. Yeah.
You're bootstrapping this thing. You're not VC backed. You're not funded. You're a guy who said, billboards should have better pictures. I'm going to go take better pictures.
That's exactly right.
So you start out local. You start out with the warm network. Always a good place to start, MLM or otherwise. So you start out with this warm local network, and I'm guessing you get traction pretty early.
Yeah, that's right. And here comes some guy who's saying, hey, I can solve this problem for you, Mr. or Miss Billboard owner. Give me a shot. And I think our work speaks for itself at this point. I think that, I was telling my sales guy this morning, I was like, quality. Like, it has to be quality. If we sit here and just, get a phone, get a photo and send it to our client, like, anyone can do that. Right. But there is a formula here, and I don't want to get too creative or too, like, poetic here, but there is a formula. There is a strategy behind every photo, every drone shot, every edited video, every ride sheet design that we produce for our clients. And it's strategic. It's not something that, it's something we take great pride in, and we're going to get it right or keep trying. Right. So I preach that constantly, quality, because there are a lot of imitators, I would say, right? So people who are really just like getting a photo and walking away. Like, And that was the problem, in my opinion. That was the problem, this sort of lackadaisical, yeah, I'll go get a photo real quick and then head back to the office because I got 100 other things I got to do, right? Like SignBird's, our sweet spot is this is our focus. We are an out-of-home service company. We don't work for realtors. We don't work for, whatever. We
right.
work
Oh yeah.
billboard.
We also do this. Like
yeah,
all SignBird does is take pictures and video of billboards and turn that into great marketing collateral.
That's right.
So billboard owners and billboard salespeople can sell more billboards.
Right on, man.
That's
Preach
it, right? Pretty
Preach
straightforward. No, it's super straightforward. And when you like, I remember the first time, and I know that this isn't the primary focus of SignBird, but at one screen we've worked together on some POP projects, and that's outside of like the normal turnkey SignBird program, which is I'm a billboard owner. I've got 500 faces and I want to have great marketing collateral. I hire SignBird. They come take great pictures, drive-by video, drone video, and then you put it all into a great little turnkey kit. And I want to come back to what that experience is like. But in terms of the quality, to what you spoke of there, a second ago about the quality, we've had projects that haven't always gone as planned, but that's out of home and you work through things, and there's, flight restrictions, and sometimes landlords don't want you there. And, there's a timing can be sometimes a thing with digital and all of that. But every single time you've come through and delivered super high quality work.
Thanks,
right. So no, for sure. So I know it's not the primary focus of the business, but it's how we work together a lot is on these POP projects. Mm-hmm. And why I think that's so valuable as we're not on the buy or sell side. We're in the middle, right? We're just bringing buyers and sellers together to help brands do cool campaigns. But for us to be able to deliver that to an advertiser who's never done out of home before, and they're not in the market where the campaign is, and then they see this awesome video of their campaign and they're like, wow, like I made it. Like we're working with bootstrapped entrepreneurs who have, they're in their third or fourth year and they're really starting to scale. And this is the first time they've ever done a billboard. Yeah. Right. And they're, I think of our friend Chris Mead on at CrossNet, and he tagged his mom on LinkedIn, like the picture of the billboard. Yeah. That's awesome. Right. Like that's the real, and sometimes we get lost in that. Like this is so special what we do. And the service that you provide is so important, because the more we can facilitate brands doing great out of home campaigns, the more brands win, the more great experiences like that. People don't feel that way about radio. People don't feel that way about TV. Out of home is something special. So, sorry, that was a bit of a diatribe there.
No, but I love that, man.
I just believe that strongly in it. So, the point of all of that was, I remember the first time I was asked to take a POP picture, and the instructions were, get the digital camera out of the sales manager's office.
Yeah.
And then go take a picture.
Yeah.
Well, but it's on the side of the highway.
Yeah.
So here I am with the steering wheel in my knees at 70 miles an hour, trying to balance this, 10-year-old digital camera and take a picture of the digital billboard. Like, it was insane to me. That was insane to me. Mm-hmm. But that's like the most current modern process for a local billboard company. So not anymore though. You're shaking your head now. For the audio listeners, they couldn't see that. So that's why I voice it. It's like subtitles. Subtitles for podcasts. But yeah, walk me through that. I'm a billboard owner. I've got 500 faces. I call SignBird. What happens next?
So to walk you through, right, the life of a project, right, the life of a SignBird project, without telling you how the sausage gets made, this is how we operate.
Yeah, I just want to eat. I don't care how the sausage is made.
That's right. So our media owner comes to us and says, hey, we need help. We have this amazing digital iconic sign that is in this community that we know people need to be on, but we're not conveying the value with the content we're putting in front of these advertisers. We need SignBird. Great. SignBird, we have a discovery period, right? We're checking local airspace regulation. We're checking even we'll go on Google Earth and look at the sign from the ground to do somewhat of a discovery period of like, hey, this would be the best location. This is where we need to stand. There's more of a discovery period, right? And then we send out our pilot sometimes in teams of two. It just depends on what the deliverables are, right? But our team would go out, right? Our team would go out. They would put the drone in the sky. They're getting shots from all different angles, and every sign's different, right? Like we had a board in near the Ohio River. It was overlooking the Ohio River. Well, do advertisers care about the Ohio River? No,
unless they're trying to reach canoers.
Unless they're right. But it's
or
on
fly
this bridge.
Fishermen.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe. Man, that's hyper targeting there. But
if there's anyone listening that's trying to target fly fishermen in Ohio,
I know
John
the
James
billboard
has a hot lead.
Yeah, I know the billboard. So why is that important? Okay. I do believe it kind of goes back to what you were talking about earlier, was like this experience, right? This experience of, hey, this is the static billboard location crossing this bridge over the Ohio River. That should be in the drone shot. Just like if your billboard is right next to a Walmart location or a busy stoplight intersection, or if there's downtown Oklahoma City. I got a shot right now from a project in Oklahoma City that is beautiful because it has the skyline of Oklahoma City. It has this major interstate running through the city, and it has this beautiful digital billboard right there. Like that is, in my opinion, that's a shot you want to put in front of advertisers. I believe that's very important to convey. It shows this landscape of this area that you're targeting. So that's that deliverable, right? That drone photo. And then of course the classic approach shot, right? And you were telling that story of, knees balancing the wheel with two hands on the camera going 70 miles an hour down the interstate. Oh my goodness. No way. Like, I would never ask anyone to do that. That time should be over because of technology that exists. So we have cameras that we mount on the front of a windshield that we hit the record button, and we're able to pull whatever we want because of that camera. We're able to pull whatever we want from that camera to where it's just a live recording as you're driving by the board. So it's safe. It's awesome. You can get things done very easily that way. And we're not having to risk anyone's life for a billboard photo. Hey, I believe billboards. Listen, I love
the
out
insurance
of home.
Policy wasn't that good.
Yeah, exactly. I love out of home, but I don't love it enough to wind up in a 6-car pileup. You know what I mean?
It ain't worth dying over. No way. No. Okay.
Way.
So you go into a market, you get awesome pictures, you get awesome video. Then what? Does the billboard owner have to do this stuff? What do you do with it after that? I feel like there's got to be a whole process after that.
Absolutely. There is a post edit, right? An editing process where we walk through our photo editor, Jen. She walks through each photo, looking at what is working, what's not working, if it needs to be brightened up, if even the sky needs to be replaced. I'm very adamant of, as it looks on camera, we need to be as transparent as possible. Meaning if somebody comes to us, a media owner comes to us and their billboard is behind a tree line from the road, we are not going to edit the trees out of that photo. That's just not ethical. That's not good business. Like get a tree cutting permit.
False,
you know what I mean?
Right. No kidding. Yeah. No kidding.
But if it's if it's muggy outside, if it's gray outside, if whatever, just the environment is great, like we'll brighten up that photo. Yeah, no problem. We'll replace the sky. That's great. Like we don't want anything to take away from the ad copy and that experience that an advertiser is going to get on that billboard face. So we do our best to make that look as professional as possible. And then we have our video process. Where we take all these great clips from the drone, from the drive-by video, and we're putting together something that I have called a billboard video proposal. It's a 60-second video that is walking advertisers through all of the video clips. It has animations for weekly impressions, the size of the board, which direction it's facing. During that 60-second video, we have a Google Earth image map that comes on, and it highlights the selling points around the board. So anything that our media owners want advertisers to know, a Walmart, major interstate, an exit, downtown of their community, right? We want that on the Google Earth image on that video. And then we wrap up the video with some more drone shots. And what we're doing, we're not trying to tell a very long story. We're just showing and we're letting the advertisers verify that this billboard is as valuable as the media owner is saying it is. That's what we're doing. We're creating transparency for these media owners to say, yeah, my billboard's awesome. And this just verified it, right? That's what we're doing.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's huge. Right. Like, it's not a billboard. It's not seen. It's experienced. It's on my way to the store. I just dropped off my son at baseball practice. I had a long day at work. Right. Like, I didn't just see that billboard. I came in contact with this thing that was a moment during my day. Right. It is an experience. And if you can communicate that value effectively, right. This is a favorite quote of mine, mashed up. It's a Warren Buffett. And if you know who Grant Cardone is, he's a
real estate
boy, right? Yeah. So the line from Warren Buffett is hang on, I just butchered the whole thing in my head. The bottom line is this: when value exceeds price, price doesn't matter. Hey, it's Tim. That quote that I just stumbled through, went back and checked it. Here's what it is. It's the mashup between Warren Buffett and Grant Cardone. So Warren Buffett famously said, price is what you pay, value is what you get. And then Grant Cardone said, when value exceeds price, price doesn't matter. So I call that the value rule. When you put it all together, what it says is price is what you pay, value is what you get. And when value exceeds price, price doesn't matter. That's the quote. Stumbled through it, went back, found it. Here it is. Now enjoy the rest of the episode. Yeah. And that's the bottom line, right? Like, I'm asking for a rate for this, but if I can demonstrate that the value is above that, then you will gladly pay the price that I'm asking you to pay. And to be able to do that in such a modern way too, where we're in this post-COVID world, like the idea of a market ride. I mean, how many people are doing market rides? Who's flying into markets to ride billboards anymore? Is that still a thing? Like, I'm sure that it is. I'm sure that it's happening. I'd love to hear from you if that's happening in your market, or if you're still going on market rides. I'd just love to hear how that's changed. But I don't know. I'd rather get 4 videos about this billboard that shows, hey, here's where it is, and here's the stuff it's near. And, it lines up with all this data that you saw on GeoPath or in your own research. And now here it is, versus here's this pixelated, grainy photo of a billboard that I think this happened to us just recently. We did a billboard in Chicago for a campaign, big campaign, and we sent a videographer out to shoot it. It's in like a high pedestrian traffic area. The photo sheet, judging by the size of the tree that's in front of the billboard, must be 10 years old. It's not a vegetation thing. It's that tree was a lot shorter 10 years ago. Yeah. It's not that you haven't trimmed it. It's that the photo sheet that you sent us is completely misleading. And the client bought it based off of that. Yeah. And that's on the media owner. That's their responsibility to make sure that the inventory is represented correctly.
Wow. Yeah.
So, so how do you do that? It's by doing what you just outlined. Don't just have one picture from 10 years ago. There's a video, and I can see, and I could understand maybe that, there's construction going on over here. So maybe it looks different today. There's a new development. How has that changed traffic patterns? Right. Yeah. I don't know. That's really frustrating because then to excitedly send a videographer out in the street, put this great piece of content together and look at it and go, we have to have a different conversation now.
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen after the campaign's live.
And so you're blowing my mind right now. And it made me think of, to put ourselves in the media owner's shoes just for a moment, right? Like just for a moment, we talk about like these long-term leases. They might have easements or whatever with the property. They have these long-term leases with these property owners that they're saying, hey, we're not just going to build a billboard for a year. We're building it for 40 or 60, or I think one time I saw a lease for 100 years. I think it was like these really, so these billboard owners are investing in these pieces they're investing in these pieces of property long-term, but they've only taken one photo and they're not showing the longevity of their investment as things come and are invested in the community. And like you said, these developments, why are we not updating our inventory, our content for our inventory, more frequently? I don't quite understand that. And maybe the answer to that question is time, resources. Like, I just don't have time to do it. I don't have time to do it. Well, a little plug for SignBird. SignBird can do that for you.
Where do people go? Give them the lat long. Where do they go to do that? Because I would prefer that everyone have SignBird of their inventory, because then I would feel more confident putting ad dollars behind it. After Airbnb made the decision to invest in the high quality photography that they have, I'm going to butcher this part, but it's Sam, if you're listening to this, don't be disappointed. Just, slack me that I got it right or wrong. 42% revenue / or bookings went up 42%. Nothing changed. The property didn't change. Yeah. It's the same property. Yeah. But guess what? Everyone made 42% more money because of better pictures.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it seems like a pretty clear case for the investment. How long does it typically take to do like a market, a project? Like, I'm sure that these are like highly variable projects, but if I'm a billboard owner, what should I expect for a timeline?
Sure. So, I mean, let's just call it like one sign location in one community here in the United States, it can take anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks, right? So like from turnaround time. So turn us loose, you're getting something back, depending on a few variables, right? Weather, airspace regulation, things like that. But anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks is where we sit right now. Man, but wouldn't it be pretty cool if we could do something like within 48 hours? And like, I want to say that as we have grown, as we've scaled and gotten that time, that delivery window time is just getting shorter and shorter. And so we're working to try and keep that delivery there, because we understand, like, I think maybe also like our culture is a little bit conditioned right now for instant gratification. But at the same time, like, it kind of goes back to what I was saying, quality takes time. And it's not something that we just half-heartedly do. It's something we take very seriously. And so yeah, man,
you ever see like passion. Those, I feel like it's like, it was like a TikTok thing or something I saw. It was like hey, draw me Spider-Man. And then it was like if you want it in 5 minutes, it just looks like a bunch of scribbles. Yeah. It's like, if you want it done right or whatever, it's, all right. No, it is that. And it makes sense. And it's not just like, hey, go drive past this billboard and send me a cell phone picture. You're going to have multiple pictures. You're going to have multiple clips of video. You're going to have all of that done and put together in a nice little package. I mean, that's like getting family photos done at Sears, I guess, but for your billboard. So it seems like, something worth doing at least once a year. John James, you used the word "we" at the beginning of the episode. I stood you up and made you qualify it, but today "we" is more than just you. The team is growing, and it's growing quickly, and you're adding lots of people. How has the team grown in this time?
Man, just kind of like as we've done project by project, we are just through our own network and through just persistence, we are finding the people who fit. And like, this is gonna, I don't know if I should say this, but I will anyway. Like, I'm a firm believer in like using the network at your disposal to find the right people and who fit your culture and do things like that. Like, I went out and this is gonna sound crazy, I'm not gonna say his name, but I went out and hired someone who had sold me something. Like, I was so impressed by how this guy handled himself, how professional he was. I went out and I made him a job offer. I'm like, dude, like, you've got to be a part of what we're doing.
What was he selling? What'd you buy? I want to know.
I don't know if I should say it, but I was buying proposal software. I was buying something we use.
It's not nearly. I was hoping it was gonna be wildly embarrassing, like socks or no. A screen printed T-shirt from the mall or something. No, okay. Proposal software. Okay, well, that's good. So you got a sales guy and proposal software out of the deal.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. They're happy to have you as a client, but kind of pissed about taking the sales guy, I guess.
I guess, man. But right now we're sitting at 5. We got 5 right now in the pocket that that is working daily for us. And then of course we have our network of pilots that we work with. And that has been also, maybe we should have another podcast about that. Just the network, of qualified people that we don't just give, like, it's earned. It's like I said earlier, this is taking photos and video of billboards. It's a strategic thing. It requires a sort of attention to detail. But once we train them in how we do what we do, we have our what's it called? SOP, our standard operating procedure. I believe that's the acronym. We have our documents that are very confidential, that we give and train each pilot. And through trial and error, they become a SignBird product.
Awesome.
Creator.
SignBird. So just in case that was confusing for anybody that might be listening, is you've got the core of SignBird, the company, right? 5 people that are SignBird. And then you have this national network of SignBird certified drone pilots and photographers, essentially.
You just gave me a great idea. Maybe we should work on like a SignBird certification. This is all internal stuff.
Oh,
but
yeah,
maybe that's something. Hobby's on the line here.
Make sure to generate an invoice payable to Out of Home Insider.
Yeah, consulting fee right there. I love that. SignBird.
Yeah, do it. Why not? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the value to you, is to have a network of certified people, and the value to them is the opportunity to make money. So seems like it makes sense for everybody. John James, this has been awesome. It's been great working with you, and we're looking forward to doing more work with you. But really, the value of what you do is beyond taking pictures of billboard campaigns that are already live. It's creating great marketing collateral so that we can sell more billboards and do more great campaigns. Right. Man, couldn't thank you enough for being here. Where do folks get in touch with you? Where are you active on social media? Give folks the rundown how to find you.
They can find us at our website, SignBird.io. And then they can follow us on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. We're out there, man. Just find us, give us a call. Be happy to talk to you about your billboards.
Cool. Do it. Strongly recommend that you do all of those things. If you do all of those things, I'm going to ask you to do one more thing. That's to like, share, subscribe, do all of those things. Share this with somebody you think could benefit. If you got value out of this, we'd certainly appreciate you doing that. And until next time, John James, it's been a pleasure.
Been a pleasure, man. Thanks.
All right. We'll see y'all next time.
Quarter century, I finally came to my senses. I finally got my hand up on the tinted Benz, kid. I see the world clear through my tinted lenses. With the dream and the drive, the possibilities endless. Now print that, send this all the way to Tokyo. Take a trip down south, down to Mexico. Next stop, Shanghai, the world-class trade show. First class all the way, cause that's how we roll. Yeah, call us the rock star businessman. Rockin' shows, we handle business, man. We got our own future in the palm of our hands, cause divided we